Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Introduction. Welcome to the By STD YouTube channel, where we bring you inspiring ideas for home decorations and renovations. Today, we are diving into a project that beautifully blends history with creativity, the Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Georgian architecture is renowned for its elegant symmetry and classic proportions, making it a perfect canvas for a stunning front yard flower garden. In this video, we will explore various ideas that not only enhance the aesthetic appeal of your historic home but also reflect the charm and character of the Georgian style. From selecting the right flowers to designing a cohesive layout, we aim to provide you with practical tips and inspiration that you can apply to your own garden. If you find our content helpful, please remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video. Understanding Georgian architecture and its garden aesthetic. To begin our journey into the Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, it's essential to understand the unique characteristics of Georgian architecture. This style, which flourished in the 18th century, is known for its symmetrical design, classic proportions, and elegant detailing. Georgian homes often feature brick or stone exteriors, multi-pane sash windows, and decorative elements such as cornices and pediments. These architectural features create a timeless backdrop that can be beautifully complemented by a thoughtfully designed flower garden. When planning your front yard, it's crucial to consider how your garden will interact with these elements, enhancing the overall aesthetic without overshadowing the architecture. When envisioning the flower garden for your Georgian house, it's important to reflect on the historical context and traditional planting styles that align with this architecture. Georgian gardens were often characterized by their formality and order, featuring well-defined paths, geometric shapes, and carefully selected plantings. Think of classic plants like boxwood hedges, lavender, and roses, which not only add color and fragrance but also resonate with the historical essence of the Georgian period. Incorporating these elements into your garden design will create a cohesive look that honors the history of your home while providing a vibrant space for enjoyment. The Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home should reflect this harmony between architecture and landscaping. The layout of your flower garden is another critical aspect to consider. A well-structured garden layout can enhance the beauty of your Georgian home while maximizing the use of your front yard space. Start by creating focal points, such as a charming bench, a decorative birdbath, or a trellis adorned with climbing plants. These features will draw the eye and invite exploration. Additionally, consider incorporating pathways that guide visitors through the garden, allowing them to appreciate the various blooms and textures. By thoughtfully planning the layout, you can create a garden that feels expansive and inviting, even in a small space, making the Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home a delightful experience for all. Plant selection is key to achieving a vibrant and sustainable flower garden. Choose perennials that will return year after year, providing a continuous display of color. Consider mixing annuals for seasonal variety and texture. Selecting plants that thrive in your local climate will ensure a flourishing garden without excessive maintenance. Additionally, think about color schemes that complement your home's exterior. Soft pastels can create a romantic feel, while bold hues can add a touch of modern flair. Incorporating a variety of heights and textures will create visual interest and depth, enhancing the overall beauty of your garden. This thoughtful approach is essential for a successful Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Lastly, don't forget the importance of seasonal interest in your flower garden. A well-planned garden should offer beauty throughout the year, not just in the spring and summer. Consider incorporating evergreen plants for year-round structure, as well as bulbs that bloom in early spring or late fall. This will ensure that your garden remains vibrant and engaging, regardless of the season. Additionally, including plants that attract pollinators can enhance the ecological value of your garden while adding a dynamic element to your outdoor space. By focusing on seasonal variety, you'll create a captivating landscape that truly embodies the spirit of the Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Choosing the right plants for your Georgian garden. Selecting the right plants is crucial for the success of your Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. The choice of plants can significantly influence the aesthetic appeal and functionality of your garden. When considering your plant selection, it's essential to think about the climate, soil type, and sunlight exposure in your front yard. This ensures that the plants you choose will thrive in their environment. For a Georgian garden, consider incorporating a mix of perennials and annuals, as well as some evergreen varieties. This combination will provide year-round interest and maintain the garden's beauty across all seasons. In a Georgian garden, traditional plant choices often include flowering perennials like peonies, irises, and daylilies, which provide vibrant colors and textures. These plants not only enhance the visual appeal but also align with the historical context of Georgian landscaping. Additionally, incorporating shrubs like hydrangeas or boxwoods can add structure and formality to your garden. These elements are essential in creating a cohesive design that complements the architecture of your home. The Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home can truly shine with the right selection of plants that reflect the elegance of this architectural style. Color schemes play a vital role in plant selection for your garden. A well-thought-out color palette can create a harmonious look that enhances the overall design of your front yard. For a Georgian house, consider using soft pastels like lavender, pale pink, and light blue to evoke a sense of tranquility and classic beauty. Alternatively, bold colors such as deep reds, purples, and yellows can add a modern twist while still respecting the traditional aesthetic. Mixing different shades and textures will create a dynamic garden that captures attention without overwhelming the senses. This thoughtful approach is key to achieving a successful Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Another important aspect of plant selection is considering the growth habits and maintenance requirements of the chosen plants. Opt for varieties that are suited for your specific climate zone and require minimal upkeep, especially if you have a busy lifestyle. Native plants can be an excellent choice, as they are adapted to the local environment and often require less water and care. Additionally, grouping plants with similar watering and sunlight needs will simplify maintenance and promote healthy growth. By focusing on low-maintenance options, you can enjoy a stunning garden without the stress of constant upkeep, making the Georgian house makeover. beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, a more enjoyable experience. Finally, don't overlook the importance of seasonal interest in your plant selection. A successful garden should provide visual appeal throughout the year, not just during the blooming season. Incorporating a variety of plants that flower at different times, along with evergreens for winter interest, will ensure that your garden remains vibrant and engaging all year long. Consider adding spring flowering bulbs like daffodils and tulips, summer perennials, and fall-blooming asters to create a garden that evolves with the seasons. This approach not only enhances the beauty of your outdoor space but also highlights the charm of your Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, making it a delightful retreat for all who visit. Designing the layout of your Georgian flower garden. The layout of your flower garden is a fundamental aspect of the Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. A well-thought-out design not only enhances the visual appeal of your home but also creates a functional outdoor space that can be enjoyed year-round. When planning your garden layout, consider the architectural features of your Georgian house, such as symmetry and proportion, which are hallmarks of this style. Incorporating these elements into your garden design can create a seamless transition from your home to the outdoor space, making it feel cohesive and inviting. One effective approach to designing your garden layout is to create a focal point that draws the eye and anchors the space. This could be a beautifully shaped flower bed, a decorative bench, or even a striking piece of garden art. For a Georgian house, consider using geometric shapes and structured planting beds to reflect the formal aesthetic of the architecture. The Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home can benefit from a central feature, such as a circular flower bed surrounded by a path or a trellis adorned with climbing plants. This focal point will not only enhance the garden's beauty but also serve as a gathering spot for relaxation and enjoyment. In addition to focal points, pathways play a vital role in the overall layout of your flower garden. Well-designed pathways can guide visitors through your garden while providing access to different areas. Consider using materials like gravel, flagstone, or brick to create charming walkways that complement the Georgian style. The paths can be straight for a more formal look or curved for a softer, more organic feel. Ensure that the pathways are wide enough for comfortable navigation and consider incorporating seating areas along the way. This thoughtful design will enhance the experience of exploring the Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, inviting visitors to linger and enjoy the surroundings. Another important consideration in your garden layout is the layering of plants. By arranging plants in varying heights and sizes, you can create depth and interest within your flower beds. Taller plants should be placed at the back of the bed, while shorter varieties can be positioned in the front. This arrangement not only showcases the beauty of each plant but also ensures that all flowers receive adequate sunlight. Incorporating a mix of flowering plants, shrubs, and ornamental grasses will add texture and movement to the garden. The Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home will be visually captivating with this layered approach, making it a delightful space to explore. Finally, consider the seasonal changes that will impact your garden layout throughout the year. By selecting a variety of plants that bloom in different seasons, you can ensure that your garden remains vibrant and engaging year-round. Incorporating spring bulbs, summer perennials, and fall-blooming flowers will create a dynamic landscape that evolves with the seasons. Additionally, evergreen plants can provide structure and interest during the winter months. This thoughtful approach will not only enhance the beauty of your outdoor space but also highlight the charm of your Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, making it a stunning retreat that can be enjoyed in every season. Maintaining your Georgian flower garden. Maintaining a flower garden is crucial to ensuring it remains vibrant and healthy throughout the seasons, especially in the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Regular maintenance not only enhances the aesthetic appeal of the garden but also promotes the health of the plants, allowing them to thrive. Start by establishing a consistent watering routine, as different plants have varying water needs. Early morning is often the best time to water, as it allows plants to absorb moisture before the heat of the day. Additionally, consider using mulch to help retain soil moisture and suppress weeds, which can detract from the beauty of your carefully curated flower beds. Another essential aspect of maintaining your flower garden is pruning and deadheading. Regularly removing spent flowers encourages new blooms and helps maintain the overall shape of the plants. This practice is particularly beneficial in a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, where structure and formality are key elements. Pruning not only enhances the appearance of individual plants but also promotes air circulation, reducing the risk of disease. Familiarize yourself with the specific pruning needs of each plant species in your garden, as some may require more aggressive trimming than others. By prioritizing this aspect of maintenance, you can ensure that your garden remains lush and attractive. Fertilization is another important component of garden maintenance. Providing your plants with the right nutrients can significantly impact their growth and blooming potential. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider using organic fertilizers that enrich the soil without harming the environment. Conducting a soil test can help determine which nutrients are lacking and guide your fertilization strategy. Additionally, applying fertilizer during the growing season can enhance the vibrancy of your flowers, ensuring that they remain a stunning feature of your garden throughout the year. Pest and disease management is also a critical part of maintaining a flower garden. Regularly inspect plants for signs of pests or disease and take action promptly to address any issues. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, maintaining a healthy garden environment is essential for preserving the beauty of your outdoor space. Consider implementing integrated pest management (IPM) strategies, which emphasize prevention and the use of natural predators. By being proactive and vigilant, you can minimize the impact of pests and diseases, ensuring that your garden remains a flourishing oasis. Finally, seasonal preparation is vital for the long-term success of your flower garden. As seasons change, so do the needs of your plants. In the fall, consider cutting back perennials and adding compost to enrich the soil for the following year. In the spring, be sure to remove any debris that may have accumulated over the winter. This preparation will set the stage for a successful growing season. The Georgian House Makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home will thrive with proper seasonal care, allowing you to enjoy a beautiful and vibrant garden year-round. By committing to regular maintenance and seasonal preparation, you can create a stunning outdoor space that complements the historic charm of your home. Enhancing curb appeal with garden accessories. When embarking on a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, enhancing curb appeal is essential. Curb appeal not only increases the aesthetic value of the property but also contributes to the overall charm of the home. One of the most effective ways to achieve this is through the strategic use of garden accessories. Accessories such as decorative planters, trellises, and garden sculptures can add layers of interest and character to the flower garden. By carefully selecting accessories that complement the Georgian architectural style, homeowners can create a cohesive look that highlights the beauty of both the house and the garden. Incorporating decorative planters is an excellent way to introduce varying heights and textures into the flower garden. These planters can be positioned along pathways or at focal points within the garden, drawing the eye and creating a sense of flow. For a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider using materials that resonate with the historical context, such as terracotta or stone. Fill these planters with vibrant seasonal flowers that can be changed throughout the year, ensuring that the garden remains dynamic and visually appealing. Additionally, using planters allows for greater control over soil quality and drainage, which can significantly benefit plant health. Another way to enhance the garden is through the use of trellises and arbors. These structures not only provide support for climbing plants but also create vertical interest that can transform a flat garden space into a more engaging environment. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, a wooden trellis painted in a soft, neutral color can serve as a stunning backdrop for flowering vines. This not only adds beauty but also creates a sense of enclosure and intimacy within the garden. Consider incorporating climbing roses or clematis, which can flourish in these structures, adding fragrance and color to the outdoor space. Garden sculptures and art pieces can serve as unique focal points within the flower garden. When selecting sculptures for a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, choose pieces that reflect the elegance and sophistication of Georgian design. Classic sculptures, such as urns, busts, or even whimsical garden gnomes, can add personality and charm to the landscape. Position these pieces thoughtfully among the flowers to create visual interest and encourage exploration. The interplay between the sculptures and the surrounding blooms can create a picturesque scene that enhances the overall appeal of the home. Finally, lighting can play a pivotal role in enhancing the garden's evening ambience. While the focus here is on accessories, the strategic placement of outdoor lighting can highlight key features of the flower garden, making it a delightful space to enjoy even after sunset. For a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider using lanterns or fairy lights that evoke a sense of nostalgia while providing soft illumination. This not only enhances safety but also creates a magical atmosphere that invites visitors to linger and enjoy the beauty of the garden. By thoughtfully incorporating these accessories and elements, homeowners can significantly elevate the curb appeal of their historic home, creating a welcoming and enchanting outdoor space. Seasonal care for a thriving flower garden. In the journey of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, seasonal care is crucial for maintaining the vibrancy and health of the garden. Each season presents unique challenges and opportunities for nurturing the plants and ensuring that they thrive. Understanding the specific needs of the flower garden throughout the year allows homeowners to implement effective strategies for care. From spring planting to fall preparation, a thoughtful approach to seasonal care can transform the garden into a stunning display that enhances the overall charm of the historic home. Spring is the season of renewal, making it an ideal time for planting new flowers and rejuvenating existing ones. For a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting the right flowers is essential. Consider choosing a mix of perennials and annuals to ensure continuous blooms throughout the season. Perennials such as peonies and lavender provide a reliable foundation, while annuals like petunias and marigolds add vibrant pops of color. Spring is also the time for soil preparation. Testing the soil pH and adding organic matter can significantly improve plant health. Regular watering and mulching help retain moisture and suppress weeds, setting the stage for a flourishing garden. As summer arrives, the focus shifts to maintenance and monitoring the garden's health. The Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home requires vigilance during the hot months, as plants can suffer from heat stress and drought. It is essential to establish a consistent watering schedule, ensuring that plants receive adequate hydration without becoming waterlogged. Deadheading spent blooms encourages further flowering and keeps the garden looking tidy. Additionally, applying a balanced fertilizer can provide the necessary nutrients for robust growth. Regularly checking for pests and diseases is also vital. Early detection allows for prompt treatment, preventing more significant issues down the line. As autumn approaches, the garden begins to transition, and care strategies must adapt accordingly. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, fall is an excellent time for planting bulbs for spring blooms, such as daffodils and tulips. Preparing the garden for winter involves cleaning up debris, cutting back perennials, and applying mulch to protect plant roots from freezing temperatures. This season also provides an opportunity to reflect on the garden's performance throughout the year. Evaluating which plants thrived and which struggled can inform future planting decisions and help create a more resilient garden. Winter may seem like a dormant period, but it is crucial for the long-term health of the flower garden. For a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, winter care involves protecting the garden from harsh weather conditions. Covering delicate plants with burlap or frost cloth can shield them from extreme cold. Additionally, winter is an excellent time to plan and dream for the upcoming gardening season. Homeowners can research new plant varieties, consider redesigning garden layouts, and prepare for the spring planting. This proactive approach ensures that the garden will flourish when warmer weather returns, creating a stunning front yard that complements the historic home. Enhancing the garden with decorative elements. In the process of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, decorative elements play a vital role in elevating the overall aesthetic of the garden. These elements not only enhance the visual appeal but also create a cohesive design that complements the historic architecture of the home. Incorporating features such as garden sculptures, trellises, and decorative planters can transform a simple flower garden into a captivating outdoor space. Each decorative piece should reflect the style of the Georgian home while adding a personal touch that resonates with the homeowner's taste. One effective way to enhance the garden is through the use of sculptures and art pieces. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, carefully selected sculptures can serve as focal points, drawing the eye and sparking interest. Consider incorporating classical statues, whimsical garden gnomes, or abstract art pieces that resonate with the garden's theme. Positioning these sculptures among the flowers creates a harmonious blend of nature and artistry, inviting visitors to explore and appreciate the beauty of the space. Additionally, sculptures can be used to define different areas within the garden, helping to create distinct zones that enhance the overall layout. Trellises and arbors are another fantastic addition to any flower garden. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, these structures provide vertical interest and can support climbing plants, adding depth and dimension to the garden. A wooden trellis adorned with climbing roses or clematis can create a stunning entrance or passageway, leading visitors through the garden while providing shade and shelter. Furthermore, trellises can serve as a backdrop for seating areas, encouraging relaxation and contemplation amidst the floral beauty. This integration of structures not only enhances the garden's design but also encourages a more immersive experience. Decorative planters are essential for adding color and texture to the garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting unique planters can significantly impact the garden's overall aesthetic. Consider using vintage ceramic pots, elegant metal containers, or rustic wooden boxes to house seasonal flowers and herbs. Grouping planters of varying heights and sizes creates visual interest and draws attention to the vibrant blooms. Additionally, incorporating planters along pathways or near entry points can enhance curb appeal, making the garden more inviting and welcoming to visitors. Finally, lighting plays a crucial role in enhancing the garden's ambience during the evening hours. For a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating decorative lighting elements can transform the garden into a magical space at night. String lights draped over trellises or lanterns placed strategically throughout the garden can create a warm and inviting atmosphere. Solar-powered garden lights can illuminate pathways, ensuring safety while adding charm. This thoughtful integration of lighting not only enhances the beauty of the flowers but also encourages outdoor enjoyment long after the sun sets. Seasonal planting and maintenance for lasting beauty. In the journey of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Understanding the importance of seasonal planting and maintenance is crucial for achieving a vibrant and flourishing garden. Each season brings unique opportunities and challenges that can significantly impact the overall health and appearance of the garden. By strategically planning planting schedules and maintenance tasks, homeowners can ensure that their front yard remains a stunning display of color and life throughout the year. This proactive approach not only enhances the visual appeal but also fosters a deeper connection with the natural environment. Spring is a time of renewal and growth, making it an ideal season for planting new flowers and rejuvenating existing beds. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, spring planting should focus on a mix of annuals and perennials that thrive in the local climate. Consider incorporating vibrant tulips, daffodils, and hyacinths to create an eye-catching display as they bloom. Additionally, spring is the perfect time to divide and transplant perennials, allowing for fuller flower beds. Regular maintenance tasks such as weeding, mulching, and watering are essential during this season to support healthy growth and prevent competition from unwanted plants. As summer arrives, the garden enters a phase of lush growth and vibrant blooms. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, summer maintenance focuses on ensuring that plants receive adequate water and nutrients. Implementing a consistent watering schedule, especially during dry spells, is critical to prevent stress on the plants. Fertilizing with organic options can also promote healthy growth and prolific blooming. Regular deadheading of spent flowers encourages further blooming and maintains a tidy appearance. Additionally, summer is the perfect time to assess the overall design of the garden, making adjustments to plant placements as necessary to maximize visual impact. As the days grow shorter and temperatures begin to cool, autumn presents a unique opportunity for gardeners to prepare their flower beds for the winter months. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, autumn maintenance involves cleaning up spent annuals and trimming back perennials. This not only tidies the garden but also helps prevent disease and pests from overwintering. Planting spring flowering bulbs during this season sets the stage for early blooms in the following year. Additionally, applying a layer of mulch can protect roots from freezing temperatures and maintain soil moisture. Autumn is also a great time to reflect on the successes and challenges of the growing season, allowing for adjustments in planning for the next year. Winter may seem like a dormant season for gardens, but it is an essential time for preparation and planning. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, winter maintenance focuses on protecting delicate plants from harsh conditions. Covering tender perennials with burlap or mulch can provide insulation against freezing temperatures. This is also an excellent time to evaluate the garden layout and consider new design ideas for the upcoming spring. Researching new plant varieties or garden techniques can inspire fresh concepts that will enhance the flower garden's beauty. Keeping a garden journal to track successes and challenges can provide valuable insights for future planting seasons. Creating a cohesive garden design. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, creating a cohesive garden design is essential to achieving a harmonious and visually appealing outdoor space. The design should reflect the architectural style of the home while incorporating elements that enhance the beauty of the front yard. A well-planned garden design not only elevates the aesthetic appeal but also creates an inviting atmosphere that welcomes visitors. To achieve this, it is crucial to consider factors such as color schemes, plant selections, and layout, ensuring that all elements work together seamlessly. One of the first steps in creating a cohesive garden design is selecting a color palette that complements the Georgian architecture. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, earthy tones and soft pastels often work well, reflecting the natural beauty of the surrounding landscape. Incorporating a mix of flowering plants, shrubs, and ornamental grasses can create depth and interest while maintaining a unified look. For instance, soft pink roses can be paired with lavender and white daisies, creating a soothing and elegant color scheme. Additionally, using foliage plants with varying shades of green can provide a lush backdrop that enhances the overall design. The layout of the garden is another critical aspect of achieving cohesion in design. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider creating distinct zones within the garden, such as a flower bed, a seating area, and pathways. This not only adds functionality but also allows for a more organized appearance. Curved pathways made of natural stone or brick can lead visitors through the garden, encouraging exploration and appreciation of the various plantings. Incorporating focal points, such as a decorative bench or a trellis adorned with climbing plants, can draw the eye and create a sense of balance within the space. In addition to plant selection and layout, incorporating decorative elements can further enhance the cohesive design of the garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider adding features such as sculptures, bird baths, or decorative planters that resonate with the overall theme. These elements not only add personality to the garden but also serve as conversation starters. Choosing materials that complement the home's architecture, such as wrought iron or natural stone, can help unify the design. Furthermore, using consistent styles for garden furniture and accessories can reinforce the cohesive look. Ultimately, creating a cohesive garden design in a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home involves thoughtful planning and attention to detail. By considering color schemes, layout, decorative elements, and maintenance, homeowners can transform their front yard into a stunning outdoor space that reflects their personal style while honoring the historic charm of the home. A well-designed garden not only enhances curb appeal but also provides a serene retreat for relaxation and enjoyment, making it a true extension of the home. Seasonal color and texture in garden design. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating seasonal color and texture is essential for creating a dynamic and visually appealing garden. Seasonal changes provide an opportunity to showcase a variety of plants that bloom at different times, ensuring that the garden remains vibrant and engaging throughout the year. By thoughtfully selecting plants that offer diverse colors and textures, homeowners can create a garden that not only complements the architectural beauty of a Georgian house but also adds depth and interest to the front yard. When planning for seasonal color, it is important to consider the timing of blooms. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, early spring can be marked by the cheerful colors of crocuses, daffodils, and tulips, creating a warm welcome as the garden awakens from winter. As spring transitions into summer, the palette can shift to include vibrant roses, peonies, and hydrangeas, adding lushness and richness to the garden. Late summer and early fall can be highlighted by the warm hues of asters, chrysanthemums, and ornamental grasses, providing a stunning backdrop as the seasons change. By planning for these seasonal shifts, the garden can maintain visual interest and beauty all year round. Texture is another vital component in the design of a front yard garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, combining plants with varying leaf shapes, sizes, and colors can create a multidimensional effect. For instance, the fine, feathery leaves of ferns can contrast beautifully with the broad, waxy leaves of hostas. Additionally, incorporating plants with different growth habits, such as upright delphiniums alongside cascading lobelias, can enhance the overall texture and movement within the garden. This interplay of textures not only adds visual intrigue but also creates a more inviting and engaging space. In addition to seasonal color and texture, the use of hardscaping elements can further enhance the garden's appeal. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, pathways, patios, and decorative stones can provide structure and organization to the garden design. For example, a charming stone pathway can guide visitors through the garden while also serving as a contrasting element to the soft textures of the plants. Incorporating benches or seating areas made of natural materials can create inviting spots to enjoy the beauty of the garden while also complementing the overall aesthetic of the historic home. Finally, maintaining the seasonal color and texture in a garden requires careful planning and regular upkeep. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, establishing a seasonal maintenance routine ensures that plants are healthy and vibrant. This includes tasks such as deadheading spent blooms, pruning to encourage new growth, and replanting seasonal flowers as needed. By investing time and effort into maintaining the garden, homeowners can enjoy a stunning display of seasonal color and texture that enhances the beauty of their front yard and reflects the timeless charm of their Georgian home. Sustainable gardening practices for a historic home. In the context of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating sustainable gardening practices is essential for creating an environmentally friendly and low-maintenance garden. Sustainable gardening not only helps in preserving the local ecosystem but also enhances the beauty of the garden while ensuring that it thrives for years to come. By using native plants, minimizing water usage, and employing organic gardening methods, homeowners can create a stunning front yard that is both beautiful and sustainable. One of the key components of sustainable gardening is the selection of native plants. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, choosing plants that are indigenous to the region can significantly reduce the need for fertilizers and pesticides. Native plants are well adapted to local soil conditions and climate, making them resilient against pests and diseases. Additionally, they often require less water once established, which is a crucial consideration for sustainable gardening. By incorporating a variety of native flowering plants, shrubs, and trees, the garden can flourish with minimal intervention while providing habitat for local wildlife, such as pollinators and birds. Another important aspect of sustainable gardening is efficient water management. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, implementing techniques such as rainwater harvesting and drip irrigation can conserve water and ensure that plants receive the moisture they need without waste. Rain barrels can be installed to collect rainwater from the roof, providing a free and eco-friendly water source for the garden. Drip irrigation systems deliver water directly to the roots of plants, minimizing evaporation and runoff. These practices not only promote sustainability but also reduce water bills, making gardening more economical in the long run. Organic gardening methods are also crucial for maintaining a sustainable garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, using organic fertilizers and pest control methods can help maintain soil health and promote plant growth without the harmful effects of synthetic chemicals. Composting kitchen scraps and yard waste can create nutrient-rich soil amendments that improve soil structure and fertility. Additionally, using natural pest deterrents, such as neem oil or insecticidal soap, can protect plants from pests while being safe for the environment. By adopting organic practices, homeowners can cultivate a thriving garden that is safe for both the environment and any visitors. Lastly, creating a sustainable garden design involves careful planning and consideration of the garden's layout. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating features such as mulch beds, permeable paving, and native plant groupings can enhance sustainability while providing visual interest. Mulch helps retain moisture in the soil and suppresses weeds, reducing the need for frequent watering and weeding. Permeable paving allows rainwater to infiltrate the ground, reducing runoff and promoting groundwater recharge. By thoughtfully designing the garden with sustainability in mind, homeowners can create a beautiful front yard that not only complements their historic home but also contributes positively to the environment. Enhancing curb appeal with strategic planting. I end the journey of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Enhancing curb appeal is a vital aspect that can dramatically transform the overall aesthetic of the property. The front yard is the first impression visitors have of the home, and a well-planned garden can create a welcoming atmosphere while highlighting the architectural features of the Georgian style. Strategic planting not only beautifies the space but also contributes to the home's value, making it essential to consider the right plants, layout, and design elements that complement the historic character of the house. One effective way to enhance curb appeal is by creating layers in the garden design. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, using a mix of tall, medium, and low-growing plants can add depth and visual interest. For instance, planting taller perennials or ornamental grasses at the back of flower beds creates a natural backdrop, while medium-height flowering shrubs can fill the middle layer, and lower-growing ground covers or annuals can provide a colorful foreground. This layered approach not only draws the eye upward, emphasizing the height of the Georgian architecture, but also creates a lush and inviting atmosphere that feels vibrant and alive. Incorporating seasonal color is another key element in enhancing curb appeal. A Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home can benefit from a carefully curated selection of plants that bloom at different times throughout the year. This ensures that the garden remains visually appealing across all seasons. For example, planting spring bulbs like tulips and daffodils can provide early color, while summer perennials such as coneflowers and daylilies can sustain the vibrancy as the weather warms. In the fall, adding asters and ornamental grasses can extend the beauty of the garden into the cooler months, creating a dynamic and ever-changing landscape that captures attention. Another effective strategy for enhancing curb appeal is the use of pathways and borders. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, integrating well-defined pathways made of natural stone or brick can guide visitors through the garden while providing structure to the overall design. Pathways can be lined with flowering plants or low hedges, creating a sense of enclosure and intimacy. Additionally, using borders to delineate different areas of the garden can help organize the space and make it feel more intentional. This not only enhances the visual appeal but also creates a functional layout that encourages exploration and enjoyment of the garden. Lastly, incorporating decorative elements such as garden art, trellises, or ornamental fences can further enhance the curb appeal of a Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. These features can serve as focal points that draw the eye and add personality to the garden. For example, a beautifully crafted trellis can support climbing plants like roses or clematis, creating a stunning vertical element that adds height and interest. Garden art, such as sculptures or decorative pots, can introduce unique character and charm, making the space feel more curated and inviting. By thoughtfully integrating these decorative elements, the front yard can become a true reflection of the homeowner's style and the historic beauty of the Georgian home. Choosing the right plants for a historic garden. In the process of a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting the right plants is crucial for creating a stunning and cohesive garden. The choice of plants can significantly impact the aesthetic appeal and functionality of the garden space. It's essential to consider factors such as climate, soil type, and the overall style of the home when making plant selections. By choosing plants that thrive in the local environment and complement the Georgian architecture, homeowners can create a beautiful outdoor space that reflects the charm of the historic home while ensuring sustainability and ease of maintenance. One of the first considerations in plant selection is understanding the climate and growing conditions of the area. A Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home should include plants that are well suited to the local climate, whether it be temperate, humid, or arid. For instance, if the garden is situated in a cooler region, homeowners might opt for hardy perennials that can withstand frost and cold temperatures. Conversely, in warmer climates, drought-resistant plants can be chosen to minimize water usage while still providing vibrant colors and textures. By selecting plants that are adapted to the local conditions, the garden will flourish with less effort and resources. Another important aspect of plant selection is considering the historical context of the Georgian home. Many Georgian gardens traditionally featured a mix of ornamental and edible plants, creating a balance between beauty and practicality. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, homeowners can incorporate classic plants such as boxwood hedges, lavender, and roses, which were commonly found in historic gardens. These plants not only enhance the visual appeal of the space but also evoke a sense of history and nostalgia. Additionally, including herbs and vegetables can provide a functional aspect to the garden, allowing for fresh produce to be harvested right from the front yard. The layout of the garden is equally important when choosing plants. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, plants should be arranged in a way that creates a harmonious flow and visual interest. Taller plants can be placed at the back of flower beds, with medium-height plants in the middle and shorter plants at the front. This layered approach not only adds depth to the garden but also ensures that each plant is visible and can thrive without being overshadowed. Additionally, incorporating pathways and borders can help define different areas of the garden, allowing for a more organized and intentional design. Finally, maintenance considerations should also influence plant selection in a Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Homeowners should choose plants that align with their willingness and ability to maintain the garden. Some plants may require regular pruning, deadheading, or specific watering routines, while others may be more low maintenance. By selecting a mix of easy care plants alongside a few that may require more attention, homeowners can create a beautiful garden that fits their lifestyle. Ultimately, the right plant choices will lead to a thriving front yard that not only enhances the curb appeal of the home but also provides a serene outdoor space to enjoy. Incorporating hardscaping elements into the garden design. In any Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, hardscaping plays a vital role in enhancing the overall aesthetic and functionality of the garden. Hardscaping refers to the non-plant elements of landscape design, such as pathways, patios, walls, and decorative features. These elements provide structure and organization to the garden, creating a balanced relationship between the built environment and the natural landscape. By thoughtfully integrating hardscaping features, homeowners can create a visually appealing and practical outdoor space that complements the historic charm of their Georgian home. One of the most important aspects of hardscaping is the creation of pathways. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, pathways can guide visitors through the garden, providing a clear route while showcasing the beauty of the surrounding plants. Materials such as natural stone, brick, or gravel can be used to create durable and attractive pathways. The choice of material should harmonize with the architectural style of the home, ensuring that the pathways feel cohesive with the overall design. Curved pathways can add a sense of whimsy, while straight paths can convey formality, allowing homeowners to tailor the garden's character to their preferences. In addition to pathways, patios and seating areas are essential hardscaping elements that enhance the usability of the garden. A well-placed patio can serve as a focal point in the outdoor space, providing an area for relaxation and entertainment. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating a patio made of natural stone or pavers can create a timeless look that complements the historic architecture. Adding comfortable seating, such as benches or outdoor furniture, encourages enjoyment of the garden and provides a perfect spot for gatherings or quiet moments of reflection. Surrounding the patio with colorful flower beds can create a cozy and inviting atmosphere. Retaining walls are another valuable hardscaping feature that can be particularly useful in gardens with varying elevation. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, retaining walls can help manage soil erosion and create flat areas for planting. These walls can be constructed from stone, brick, or timber, providing both functionality and aesthetic appeal. By incorporating plants or decorative elements on top of the walls, homeowners can soften the hard edges and create a more integrated landscape. Additionally, these walls can serve as seating areas, further enhancing the garden's usability. Finally, lighting can be an essential component of hardscaping, even though it is not a physical structure. Thoughtfully placed outdoor lighting can enhance the beauty of the garden during the evening hours, allowing homeowners to enjoy their outdoor space long after the sun has set. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, integrated lighting along pathways, in seating areas, or highlighting key features can create a magical atmosphere. By combining all these hardscaping elements, homeowners can craft a stunning and functional garden that beautifully complements their Georgian home, creating an inviting and timeless outdoor space. Seasonal planting for continuous color and interest. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, one of the most effective strategies for maintaining a vibrant garden is through seasonal planting. This approach allows homeowners to enjoy a continuous display of color and texture throughout the year. By selecting a variety of plants that bloom in different seasons, the garden can remain visually engaging, ensuring that there is always something in bloom. This method not only enhances the aesthetic appeal of the front yard but also contributes to the overall health of the garden ecosystem. To achieve a successful seasonal planting scheme, it is crucial to understand the growth cycles of various plants. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, homeowners can start by incorporating early spring bloomers, such as crocuses and daffodils, which bring a burst of color after the winter months. As these flowers fade, attention can shift to summer perennials like coneflowers and daylilies, which provide vibrant hues and attract pollinators. This careful planning ensures that as one group of plants finishes blooming, another begins, creating a seamless transition of color throughout the seasons. In addition to selecting plants based on their blooming periods, incorporating foliage plants can add interest even when flowers are not present. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, evergreen shrubs and ornamental grasses can provide structure and texture, ensuring that the garden remains visually appealing year-round. For instance, evergreens can serve as a backdrop for seasonal flowers, while ornamental grasses can sway gently in the breeze, adding movement to the landscape. By thoughtfully layering these elements, homeowners can create a dynamic garden that captivates the eye regardless of the season. Furthermore, seasonal planting allows for experimentation with annuals, which can be changed out each year to refresh the garden's look. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, annuals like petunias, marigolds, and zinnias can be planted in containers or garden beds to provide pops of color throughout the summer. These plants can be easily replaced each year, allowing for creativity and personal expression in the garden design. This flexibility means that homeowners can adapt their garden to reflect changing tastes or seasonal trends, keeping the outdoor space feeling fresh and inviting. Finally, incorporating seasonal planting not only enhances the visual appeal of the garden but also supports local wildlife. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting native plants that bloom at different times can attract beneficial insects, birds, and other wildlife, creating a thriving ecosystem. By fostering a diverse range of flora, homeowners can contribute to the health of their local environment while enjoying the beauty of their garden. Ultimately, a well-planned seasonal planting strategy can transform a front yard into a stunning and dynamic space that reflects the charm of a historic home while providing year-round enjoyment. Choosing the right garden accessories and decor. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting the right garden accessories and decor can significantly enhance the overall aesthetic and functionality of the outdoor space. Accessories such as garden furniture, decorative pots, and lighting can create an inviting atmosphere that complements the floral displays. When choosing these elements, it's essential to consider the style of the historic home and the garden's layout. For a Georgian house, classic and timeless designs often work best, reflecting the elegance of the architecture while providing comfort and usability. One of the key accessories to consider is garden furniture. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, opting for wrought iron or wooden benches can add a touch of sophistication to the garden. These materials not only harmonize with the traditional aesthetic of a Georgian home but also provide durable seating options for enjoying the outdoor space. Arranging the furniture strategically, perhaps under a flowering tree or near a focal point like a fountain, can create cozy nooks that invite relaxation and contemplation. Additionally, incorporating cushions and throws in soft, natural colors can enhance comfort while adding a layer of texture to the overall design. Decorative pots and planters are another essential component of the garden decor. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting pots that echo the architectural details of the house can create a cohesive look. Terracotta, stone, or ceramic pots in muted tones can blend seamlessly with the vibrant colors of the flowers. Grouping pots of varying heights and sizes can add depth and interest to the garden layout. Furthermore, using pots to highlight seasonal blooms or unique plants can create focal points that draw the eye and encourage exploration of the garden space. Lighting plays a crucial role in setting the mood for evening gatherings in the garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, incorporating soft, ambient lighting through the use of lanterns, string lights, or solar-powered garden lights can transform the outdoor area into a magical retreat after sunset. Placing lights along pathways, around seating areas, or highlighting specific plants can enhance safety while creating an enchanting atmosphere. Additionally, choosing lighting fixtures that reflect the historical style of the home can further unify the garden's design with the overall architecture. Finally, adding personal touches through garden decor items can make the space truly unique. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider incorporating decorative elements such as bird baths, trellises, or sculptures that resonate with personal interests or reflect the history of the home. These accessories not only serve as conversation starters but also contribute to the garden's character. By thoughtfully selecting and arranging garden accessories and decor, homeowners can create a front yard that not only showcases beautiful flowers but also reflects their personal style and enhances the charm of their historic home. Maintaining your flower garden for long-lasting beauty. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, maintaining the flower garden is essential for ensuring its long-lasting beauty and vibrancy. Regular maintenance not only keeps the garden looking its best but also promotes healthy plant growth. This involves a combination of watering, weeding, pruning, and fertilizing, all of which contribute to a thriving garden ecosystem. Establishing a consistent maintenance schedule can make this process more manageable and less overwhelming, allowing homeowners to enjoy their garden without the stress of neglect. Watering is one of the most critical aspects of garden maintenance. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, it is important to understand the specific water needs of different plants. Some flowers may require more frequent watering, especially during hot summer months, while others may thrive in drier conditions. Implementing a drip irrigation system or soaker hoses can help deliver water directly to the roots, minimizing evaporation and ensuring that each plant receives adequate moisture. Additionally, mulching around the plants can help retain soil moisture and reduce the frequency of watering, making maintenance more efficient. Weeding is another vital task in maintaining a flower garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, weeds can compete with flowers for nutrients, water, and sunlight, potentially stunting their growth. Regularly inspecting the garden and promptly removing weeds, especially before they have a chance to seed, can prevent them from overtaking the flower beds. Utilizing mulch not only enhances the garden's aesthetic but also acts as a barrier to weed growth. Hand pulling or using a hoe can be effective methods for weed control, ensuring that the garden remains healthy and visually appealing. Pruning is essential for promoting healthy growth and encouraging blooming in many flower species. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Understanding the best times and techniques for pruning various plants can enhance their shape and flowering potential. Deadheading, or removing spent blooms, can encourage plants to produce more flowers and prolong the blooming season. Additionally, pruning back overgrown or leggy plants can create a more balanced and tidy appearance in the garden. Regularly assessing the garden for any plants that may require pruning can help maintain a neat and attractive flower bed. Fertilizing is the final piece of the maintenance puzzle. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, providing the right nutrients to the soil can significantly impact plant health and flowering. Conducting a soil test can help determine which nutrients are lacking and guide the selection of appropriate fertilizers. Organic options, such as compost or well-rotted manure, can enrich the soil while being environmentally friendly. Applying fertilizer during the growing season, especially in spring and early summer, can support robust plant growth and vibrant blooms, ensuring that the garden remains a stunning focal point throughout the year. By incorporating these maintenance practices, homeowners can enjoy a flourishing garden that enhances the beauty of their historic home. Choosing the right plants for your front yard garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, selecting the right plants is crucial for creating a visually appealing and harmonious outdoor space. The choice of plants should reflect the character of the historic home while also considering the local climate, soil conditions, and sunlight availability. A well-planned selection can enhance the overall aesthetic, making the front yard not only beautiful but also functional. It's essential to choose a mix of perennials and annuals, as well as flowering and foliage plants, to ensure year-round interest and color. When considering plant selection, it's vital to understand the growing conditions of the garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, assessing the amount of sunlight the front yard receives is the first step in making informed decisions. Some areas may be bathed in full sun for most of the day, while others might be shaded by trees or nearby structures. For sunny spots, vibrant flowers like daisies, lavender, and coneflowers can thrive and add color. In contrast, shaded areas might benefit from hostas, ferns, and astilbes, which can flourish without direct sunlight. Understanding these conditions allows for the selection of plants that will thrive and create a cohesive look throughout the garden. Incorporating native plants into the design is another excellent strategy for a Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Native plants are adapted to the local environment, requiring less water and maintenance compared to non-native species. They also provide essential habitats for local wildlife, including pollinators like bees and butterflies. By selecting plants that are indigenous to the region, homeowners can create a sustainable garden that supports biodiversity while enhancing the historical charm of their property. Examples of native plants might include black-eyed Susans, wild geraniums, and butterfly weed, all of which can add beauty and ecological value to the front yard. Color schemes play a significant role in the overall design of a flower garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Choosing a color palette that complements the exterior of the house can create a harmonious look. For instance, if the home features classic white or soft pastel hues, incorporating soft pinks, whites, and light blues in the flower selection can enhance the property's elegance. On the other hand, a bold color scheme with vibrant reds, oranges, and yellows can create a striking contrast against a darker home exterior. Mixing different shades and textures can also add depth and interest, making the garden a captivating focal point. Finally, considering the seasonal changes is essential for a Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Selecting a variety of plants that bloom at different times of the year can ensure that the garden remains attractive throughout all seasons. Early spring bulbs like crocuses and daffodils can provide the first bursts of color, followed by summer blooms such as roses and peonies. In the fall, ornamental grasses and late-blooming asters can add texture and color. By planning for seasonal diversity, homeowners can create a dynamic garden that evolves with the changing seasons, ensuring that the front yard remains a beautiful and inviting space year-round. Designing pathways and borders for your flower garden. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, the design of pathways and borders plays a critical role in enhancing the overall aesthetic of the garden. Pathways not only provide functional access to different areas of the garden but also guide visitors through the landscape, creating a sense of flow and organization. When designing pathways, it's essential to consider materials that complement the historic nature of the home. Options such as brick, stone, or gravel can evoke a classic feel, harmonizing with the architectural style of a Georgian house. The layout of the pathway should be intuitive, leading the eye and feet through the garden while also allowing for easy navigation. Borders are equally important in a Georgian house makeover. Beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. They can define the edges of flower beds, separate different sections of the garden, and create a polished look. Using low-maintenance materials like decorative stones or timber can help establish clear boundaries without overwhelming the space. Planting low-growing flowers or shrubs along the borders can soften the edges and add an additional layer of beauty. For example, lavender or low-growing sedums can create a fragrant and visually appealing border that enhances the garden's charm. The choice of plants for borders should also consider seasonal interest, ensuring that the edges remain attractive throughout the year. Incorporating curves and angles into the design of pathways and borders can add visual interest to the garden. Straight lines can often feel rigid and uninviting, while gentle curves can create a more organic and relaxed atmosphere. In a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home, consider designing winding paths that meander through the flower beds, inviting exploration. This approach not only enhances the aesthetic appeal but also encourages engagement with the garden. Additionally, incorporating small seating areas or resting spots along the pathways can provide opportunities to pause and enjoy the beauty of the surroundings, making the garden a more inviting and enjoyable space. Lighting can also play a significant role in the design of pathways in a Georgian house makeover. beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. While the focus is often on daytime aesthetics, considering how the garden will look at night can enhance its usability and charm. Incorporating subtle lighting along pathways can create a warm and inviting atmosphere after sunset. Options such as solar-powered path lights or lanterns can illuminate the way while adding a decorative touch. This approach not only enhances safety but also allows the garden to be enjoyed during the evening hours, extending the usability of the outdoor space. Finally, maintenance is a crucial aspect of any garden design, including pathways and borders in a Georgian house makeover, beautiful front yard flower garden ideas for a small historic home. Regular upkeep is essential to ensure that pathways remain clear and borders are well defined. This may include periodic weeding, replenishing mulch or stones, and pruning plants to maintain their shape. Additionally, ensuring that pathways are free from debris and overgrowth will enhance the overall appearance and functionality of the garden. By committing to regular maintenance, homeowners can ensure that their beautifully designed pathways and borders continue to enhance the charm and elegance of their front yard flower garden for years to come.